Today we're going to be going over some designer fragrances that I would rate a 10 out of 10, no questions asked, don't even have to think twice about it. And you're probably thinking, you know, a 10 out of 10 perfect rating, that is, that's a pretty big deal, and it is, you know. It might seem like when I go over, you know, 9 or 10 fragrances, whatever, it might seem like I'm just handing that out to anything, but it's not the case. Out of my entire collection, if these are what make the cut, if these are ultimately what pops into my mind first in order to place into a list like that, that means something. So I'm going to drop links to everything that I talk about today down below in the video description, like always, if you want to do some shopping. And we're pretty much going to stick with the cooler weather trend that we have going here, except for maybe one. That'll be a little bit more for warm weather. This first one is affordable, usually around, I don't know, at this point, $50, $60. It's the original Valentino Uomo. Talked about this one in a recent video as well, kind of when I was highlighting some, you know, kind of overlooked fragrances that are still great. And this is one of them because of all of the flankers that we have now. Nobody really talks about this. This one has coffee, leather, hazelnut, and chocolate, along with just a little bit of iris, although it's not quite the forefront. Essentially, it's this kind of gourmand, nutty, kind of sweet chocolatey type of scent with a little bit of a freshness as well, which doesn't sound probable at all when you look at those notes. You know, it just looks like it's going to be the sweetest thing ever, but it's not actually. It's still not as sweet as modern day scents like the Stronger With Yous and just kind of the trendy scents like that. So, you know, this was released quite a while ago when things were different, and there's enough balance to this one, which I appreciate because it doesn't go too far in one direction or the other. Primarily, the iris here is giving you some of that powdery and kind of dusty feel that you get out of this one. Again, it's not at the forefront, but it does contribute a little bit. Obviously, that iris note is amped up much more in Uomo Intense, which was released after this one. But again, this original here, it's the most affordable in the lineup, and to me, it still adds a lot of value to a collection, and I think it's perfect for the season of fall, again, because it has a little bit of that freshness, but also some sweetness as well to help it through the cold mornings and cold evenings. So speaking of, you know, newer style, very sweet fragrances, this next one is from Jean Paul Gaultier, which you could imagine pretty much anything that they put out is going to be very sweet, probably youthful, and trendy. I would say that they are really good at both probably setting and also identifying trends and just rolling with it, because when you look at all of the Le Male flankers and the Les Beaux flankers, especially here over the past couple of years, they have just been so popular, and they're just, I don't know, they're good at what they do, I guess. But this one in particular, it's Scandal. It's the Les Parfum version. I think this is worlds better than the original. It's worlds better than the, what is it? Is it a Les Parfum or Intense, the black bottle? I can't remember. And then now we have this one. This is my favorite of those 2 or 3 total. This one has chestnut, mirabelle, and sandalwood. Only 3 notes, that's fine. Mirabelle, I don't know about it, so I'm not going to attempt to say whether or not I pick up on that one. Do I get the chestnut? Definitely. Although it's not quite as nutty as it is in like something like a Stronger With You or Replica by the Fireplace. Do I get some sandalwood? Sure, a little bit, but primarily what I get is a lot of tonka bean, and that it should come as no surprise. I think tonka bean is found in pretty much every modern day release, at least if it's on the fresher side of things. And for sure, getting it here, it does have just almost a little bit, the slightest bit of this coffee smell, or maybe more so maybe a tiramisu type of smell or something. It reminds me a little bit of that Ferragamo Uomo style texture, that sweet tiramisu accord that you get from that one, a little bit gourmand. I get kind of a similar style to that in this one. This stuff is very, very strong. So for those of you who like beast mode performing fragrances, this is it. Comes in at a pure Parfum concentrate as well, which is really helping contribute to that performance there in terms of longevity especially, but it also does project really good. I love how it smells, and it took me a while to really come around to it. And it's not that I hated it when it first came out or when I first tried it, I guess, but it just, I don't know, I guess I wasn't really fully on board with it. After some more time smelling it, wearing it, and so on, started to come around to it a little bit more. This is Also, not my first bottle, had another bottle at 1.2, and then this one is basically full now. This next one, kind of sticking with that powdery sweet trend, is Prada Luna Rossa Black, tonka bean and amber. That's basically it. Now they list off some sort of floral. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's not a heliotrope, but it's something. Is it jasmine? I can't remember. It's some sort of, I believe, white floral. And I really don't get a ton of it. Maybe a little bit off the opening, and it's pretty fleeting. But basically what this is tonka bean and amber throughout, you know, basically from start to finish. It's powdery, it's dusty, it's a little bit creamy and sweet, but mostly it's powdery, and it's definitely not what I would consider to be, and what most would consider to be, a masculine smelling fragrance. It's quite a bit different than the normal. And because of that, this one is a bit polarizing, as you would expect. So I would say that in terms of blind buy, be careful with it. You know, try it first if you can. If you can't, take a step back and evaluate what you like in your collection. If you're primarily into fresher scents, this might be more of a risk. But if you have dabbled with some sweeter scents, like, you know, the Scandal Absolu, I guess, for one example, you know, that kind of gets you somewhat in a similar category to where maybe you could make a decision on if you think you're going to like this. Basically, if you like tonka bean, you know, and you like that as a forefront, then you would like this. And a little bit of amber to help kind of smooth some of that powderiness out as well. That's Prada Luna Rossa Black. There is something comforting about this one as well. It just has this kind of cozy, fuzzy type of warming smell to it, which I think makes it great for fall and winter. The only kind of negative to this one is it's not the strongest performer. You might expect it to be because, well, tonka bean and amber, two normally pretty strong and sweet notes. This one is not beast mode in the way that I think we're used to these days. Now, this is not new, but it's not super old either. So keep that in mind. If you're going into this expecting, like, you know, Scandal Absolu performance, or, you know, I don't know, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir type of performance or whatever, something sweet like that, that's beast mode, this is not it. It's a little bit more reserved, but there's a time and place for that too. This next one, kind of on the fresher end of things, but I think it could easily work for all year round usage. It's Bleu de Chanel. It's the Parfum version. You know, it's well, it's not as expensive as the L'Exclusif, I guess. So that's a bonus, but it's still not cheap either. I don't even know what this one retails for anymore because they probably raised the price on it compared to when I bought it. So I don't know, but I'm guessing right around probably $200 for the 100 ml. You can get a 150 like this for probably, obviously going to be a little bit more than that, but that's kind of what I'm guessing. And for me, the reason why I gravitate towards the Parfum in particular compared to the Eau de Parfum most of the time is just that added depth, that added layer and complexity that this one has, which is, I'm not going to say that the Eau de Parfum doesn't have that, but there's just more to this one. And there is also a time and a place for the Eau de Parfum and even the Eau de Toilette for me. Not so much the Eau de Toilette, more so the EDP. It's fresher, and so for more so summer usage, I would go for the Eau de Parfum. But generally, when it starts to dip below, you know, I don't know, 70 degrees or so, I'm probably reaching for the Parfum. I like that added layer. Has a little bit more of a sandalwood focused here, just a little bit more woody, less focus on this kind of grapefruit brightness, and it still does have a little bit of that blue fragrance smell, but again, just with a more mature and sophisticated twist. And honestly, I think this would be great for a date night. You could wear any Bleu de Chanel for a date night or any situation, but I like the kind of slight mystery that this one gives off as well. It would work great for a situation like that. This is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I wear this stuff quite often. This next one is Mercedes-Benz. It's Club Black. Usually around $40 to $45 for this. One of the best affordable vanilla scents you can buy. Also have multiple bottles of this because at one point it was looking like it was discontinued, and I wouldn't say that I panicked, but I definitely was a bit concerned by that, and so I bought several backup bottles that are still boxed up. Have, you know, one or two that are open like this one, and then several that are just sealed away that, you know, I'll have probably for 50 years or something, but this is all about the vanilla, the benzoin with a touch of ambroxan off the opening to give you a little bit of a bright pop. Similar to Luna Rossa Black in the sense that it's not masculine really, and you know, in terms of a blind buy, you just have to keep in mind this is not something that is, you know, cologne smelling, meaning it's not fresh, it's not blue, it's not, you know, clean, soapy, shower gel type of smell that I would equate to smelling like a cologne. You know, I think this could go either way. I think if you're a woman and you want to, and you like how this smells, I think you could easily pull this off. So that's something that you have to keep in mind with something like this is it's not inherently masculine, but still it smells absolutely beautiful. If you like vanilla fragrances, again, for the money, this is one of the best you can buy. And, you know, again, there's so many more out there that are double, triple the price or more. But, you know, again, like I've said before, if this was $100 on discounters, I would still love it. I wouldn't feel as passionate about it though, because just the price, the deal that you get so much value out of this for under $50. It's insane. And I recommend it so highly. Stronger With You, absolutely. I think I talked about Stronger With You a little bit ago, just in passing, talking about chestnut and stuff. This one does have that chestnut, but it also has a ton of rum as well, and no surprise, tonka bean, okay? But basically it's the Stronger With You DNA with a bit of a boozy twist and an attempt at making it more mature. Now, is this a mature scent? Definitely not. It is still gonna be more so appealing to the younger crowd. Anybody can wear it, but it's going to appeal more to, again, younger guys. That's just kind of the trend that this one falls in. But it does kind of at least make an attempt at just giving it a little bit more of a mature and refined smell, which also doesn't make it to the point where now it's hard to pull off in terms of being, you know, too boozy or too extreme or anything. It's definitely not. It still very much is that Stronger With You DNA that could be worn for any situation pretty much in the cooler weather and still get tons of compliments, and still has amazing performance coming in at a true Parfum. This also is my second bottle. That's why it is full. My first one is gone, and it's kind of sad to see. What I do like though is that when these bottles are full, look at how beautiful they look. But when you start to use it, man, they don't look as cool because all the coloration comes from the liquid itself. I mean, you have some gradient, but everything up here, that's just the liquid. You can look. That glass is clear. I mean, there's no tint to it. So I like having a full bottle on hand just to show for display with stuff like this. Same with Dolce & Gabbana, the one and stuff. It just gets that color from the liquid, and it's almost like they do it on purpose. They want you to go out and buy another bottle when yours gets, you know, even a quarter of the way full, just because, well, you want that nice look. This next one is Spicebomb Extreme by Victor and Rolf. It's such an easy 10 out of 10, no-brainer for me, and luckily, surprisingly, and I love to see it, prices on these have come down, both the Extreme and the original. When I first started out, Spicebomb Extreme was out of my price range. I wanted to buy it so bad early on when I was starting, but it was always, I believe, like a little over $100 on discounters. This is 90 ml, and it was, I think, and this was again years and years ago, but I don't know, 110 maybe or something, like expensive for 90 milliliters, which we think about that price point now and that's kind of normal, but back when I was starting out, that was very expensive for me and just kind of out of the ordinary for a designer at discounter price. Nowadays, 75 bucks will get you a bottle of Spicebomb Extreme 90 ml boxed. I mean, that's crazy. You can get a bottle of Spicebomb Eau de Toilette for $49, $50. It's just, these have dropped a lot in price, and I don't know why, but they have, and again, I'm cool with it. It's cool to see something going in the opposite direction that we're used to seeing prices go here recently. Got the tobacco, the vanilla, the black pepper, all of that beautiful stuff. It smells great. Spicy, of course, but with a little bit more of a sweeter richness to it compared to the Eau de Toilette. And I've described it this way before many times. If you were a guy in your 20s in college wearing Spicebomb EDT, that same guy when he's 35 and has a wife and kids and a family, he would be wearing Spicebomb Extreme. It's just a grown-up version. It still has that same guy deep down, that same personality, but again, he's a little bit more grown up, a little bit more mature. That is Spicebomb Extreme. And I love Paco Rabanne Pure XS. I really love Pure XS Night, but that one's obviously discontinued. This is the old style bottle, which has a hinge. I don't believe that they make them like this anymore. Like Pure XS Night, for example, did not have this. It was just regular cap. But yeah, old style. And for whatever reason, it always has like that, I don't know, powdery buildup on the atomizer. It's interesting, but man, I love how this smells. Just this nice, sweet, kind of cola fizzy woodiness, but at the same time, just a slightest bit of a boozy kick, plenty of a gourmand sweetness, but then freshness. It's a very bizarre scent in the fact that it is so many things. And I have a lot of fragrances that are kind of hybrid where it's a bit fresh and a bit sweet, but this one almost to the next level. It's fresh, but it's also kind of gourmand sweet, but then it kind of has this boozy liquor note, and then it has this woody undertone and then this kind of sugary gourmand sweetness as well. And I believe some leather in here too. It's bizarre, but man, ultimately what it creates is this just addicting, delicious, and just edible type of smell that you just almost want to take a bite out of. It's so good and so alluring. I love Pure XS, and this one's affordable as well. Typically right at around 50, maybe sometimes a little bit less, and you know, just really good for fall in general, and that's kind of my favorite time to wear it. The downside is, again, it's not beast mode by today's standards, so that sucks, but it still is strong enough to at least get you through the majority of most people's workday, I would say. That being said, it kind of lacks a little bit in terms of performance in wintertime in particular, or at least if it gets really cold. Not gonna be my first choice. And last up for this video, Gentleman Reserve Privé by Givenchy. It's got the chestnut, the whiskey, the iris, the tonka bean. I love it. This is a little, what is it? It's a 60 ml bottle. That's all they had at the time, and I could not wait. As soon as I saw this one announced, I had to buy it. The 100s were sold out instantly, and this is all that was left. That's fine. It's the original Gentleman Eau de Parfum smell, but with a boozy take and a little bit of a gourmand twist from the chestnut. I've talked about this one highly ever since it first came out because it was an instant love for me, a true favorite of mine, and on sale. Well, I guess not on sale, but you can get 100 ml testers for $65 right now, which is pretty much the lowest I've ever seen it. 100 ml full presentation is like $85, so 20 bucks savings for tester versus full presentation. Give me the tester at that point. That's a great deal. Again, I'll have that link down below. I already posted about that on my community tab and my mailing list, so a lot of you probably got that deal already if you wanted it. But if you're just now hearing about it, 100 ml tester, 65 bucks, great time to buy for fall and winter. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.